it's thirsty. Hey, one person. Let me get the thumbs ups. Yes, into the room. Let's go and check in. Much appreciated. Ooh, this is water. I bought this thing at Aldi's, and it keeps anything hot or cold. So right now, I got me some ice cold water. All right. I guess whoever was on here, y'all gone. Anywho, well, I'm just gonna start. So as you can see from the title, half the year is gone, and we are about to approach the halfway mark before the end of the year. And so usually the half of the year, the halfway mark, I always trying to reflect, did I accomplish what I wanted to do this part of the year that's gone? What have I been doing? And how I plan on finishing um, the last part of the year, God willing. So, hmm, financially, I would say that um, I'm doing okay because I did manage to settle with a case. Well, it really wasn't settled, to be honest. Hey, you two people on here. Um, of course, at the end of last year, December, I was in an accident, both at work as well as when I went to the eye doctor, and that resulted in um, this settlement that I received from the eye doctor. But the thing is, that was a complicated matter because it was like what they call adjudication because I had to go to the emergency room and and part of the most of the bills really was the aspect of me being in there when I was in the emergency room to treat my diabetes because it was so high. But at the same time, I also had got some treatment. Well, I ain't gonna say treatment, test done when I had hurt my leg and my back. And part of this with all right, four people giving the thumbs up. Who's in here? Go ahead and say hi in the room so I can know I'm talking to. So, and please like, comment, and subscribe too as well. So, um, p- part of the settlement was paid, but then they said that I had you have to pay a portion of that money back. I haven't even cashed the check yet. It's a substantial check amount. I'm not going to tell you what it was, but I still have it, and I have a year to cash it from the time I issued it. So I'm just going to go ahead and just deposit it into another account. I may open up a new account because I always wanted to establish different funds, an emergency fund, of course, um, a sinking fund, and things of that nature. So part of an incident carried over to this year. And then the other part was when I had worked at Amazon, and then I was on accommodation, and then um, I was still going to work, but I had to go to the workers' comp doctor weekly, and I need to put in my expenses for that. And then, of course, the incident happened back in November the 11th, and you could only be on accommodation for like 6 months. So, right before the end of the 6 month mark, which was the time I went on my vacation to Arizona back on the June 9th to 11th, which was like, what, 3 weeks ago almost? So now I'm currently on leave of absence. So I did go to my doctor's appointment today. Well, not today, it was yesterday. Physical therapy. So they only have they had me to come back to work, or they're supposed to end today, but they extended my time. And I said, well, I still had 16 sessions, something like that, whatever it was. So I said I need to still go to my primary care doctor. They supposed to next week have an appointment to go over that MRI as to what's going on. But once the caseworker receives the paperwork, then my time would be extended at least till August 31st, because that way all my sessions will be completed. Um, I'll be going to my primary care doctor next week. So we could go over my basic health as well as seeking an accommodation, because I can't go back and do the same thing what I was doing. So, but we'll see what happens with that. I'll be going back to work either sometime, probably August. I don't know if it's going to be the beginning of August or the end of August, but it depends. I'll have to wait and see what happens. So basically, um, how you always attempt to write I always try to attempt. All right, thank y'all. 4 people come in the room. Give me another thumbs up for those who didn't hit it, and say hello in the chat so I know who I'm talking to. If y'all not gonna say nothing in the chat, I'm gonna start turning off the comments, and then y'all just have to catch the replay. But it would be nice to get some hi, hello, something. Some people, I know y'all working, so y'all can't really be on the phone. Some people be driving. Some people be having me on a big screen TV, or whatever the case may be. Atlanta Food Star, hey, how are you doing? I appreciate it. It's good to know when you see people on there, but then it would be nice to know who's watching. So I think it's been a minute since I've seen your name pop up, but I haven't been on here on a regular basis like I used to. So I'm quite sure y'all remember me from back in the days of doing Grubhub and Uber Eats and um, all those other food delivery apps back in the day. Can you believe that was like 2016, 2017? Even though I've been on YouTube since 2011, and I'm still not monetized because I don't edit no videos. I don't do no fancy, you know, thumbnails and things of that nature. And I've been watching a lot of videos of people, especially those who have like a large subscribers and make this their source of income. A lot of them been complaining about the algorithm and everything else going on. But YouTube is a business, you know, just like anything else, just like all these other companies that needs to cut back and um, watch the bottom line. We have to watch the bottom line. So the beginning of the year, I didn't rate. I wrote a written budget, but not really completed it to the extent that I wanted to. But I've always said I was going to pay off extra my mortgage, which I've been doing since day one. Um, of course, I try to pay off things like my SUV when I bought it. I wish I didn't buy that car sometimes. I wish I just kind of not incur any more debts by getting a car note, but I've been paying extra on that from day one. So I'm gonna go back and look at how much more. I know how much more I have to pay, but my goal is to pay that off ASAP. Especially if I could pay, I'm most definitely paying it off early. I never kept a car or bought a car where I always paid it off early than the time needs to be. You know, even if you pay an extra $50 or $100 a month towards anything, you knock off the terms and the interest that you're paying. I'm not stretching out no car note, whether it be used or new, for 6 years. Um, or some of them trying to go for 7 years, and then they even got some terms they want 10 years. You got to be crazy to have a car note for 10 years. And who Jesus, just the thought of it. I told you about a person who I try to help them not finance and sign my name because I don't co-sign for nobody. But I try to tell them about when they was doing Uber and they were doing the leasing. And I tell people, I said, that's not financially sound. You know, that's not a great move. A lot of people reasoning of leasing a car is because they don't want to put miles on the current car they have, or they just simply didn't have a car in the first place. But all you was doing was leasing a car and doing Uber and Lyft just to pay for the lease. That didn't make any sense, in my opinion. But you know what? People always trying to tell me, we don't know people's circumstances. You don't have to know circumstances to know what's financially sound and what makes sense. But nobody listened to me. But you know what? I have my own home. I have my own vehicle, and I know if I ever get into financial difficulty, I know I have family. Well, my mother, they will help me if I needed help. But trust and believe, um, I'm not going to be asked out. So, you know, so the 6 months, or the first 6 months of the year, financially, I would say I did okay. I mean, I did, work TurboTax, and I did get promoted as a team lead, even though that was rough. I could tell you that. And, you know, it was a hard tax season and a stressful one at that. But I'm not going to say anything about that right now. But it just gave me up, it just gave me more opportunities to brush up on my resume and pursue a real career, even though it may be a little bit hard. But I've been trying to go into Salesforce. I did finish the course last few months ago, but I didn't take the Salesforce exam or certification. I took it twice. I didn't pass it, but I wasn't really studying like I should. But I want to resume that again. But I did learn Salesforce. I have used it on my position when I was working at TurboTax and as a lead. So I need to work on my resume, my LinkedIn profile, and work with Correlation One because technically I did complete the program with them, but I did not continue with the data analytics because we had some last week. There was some conflict because this person who was the so-called project manager, we used to have some um, issues with the TAs. Half of them didn't know how to speak English. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. And every time people ask a question or you ask a question, they just want to send you something that you could Google yourself. But they didn't really explain it. And then I don't understand it. But that's a whole new video. I did talk about that a couple of weeks ago. Well, a couple of days ago, I made a video, but I think I took it down. But that's not going to stop me from learning data analytics and just to confirm, I've been I'm studying right now, but it's not going to be with Correlation One. I signed up for a different platform, which is a nonprofit organization where you can learn anything in for IT, and it is well structured. You actually do real projects, and it is actual work experience that you could actually put on a resume. You know, it was data camp. Let me see. Let me go on there. Data. Let me look and see what it is because I need to work on that today. I was doing something today when I didn't even work today with I did not work today with which is losing my train of thought. I didn't do anything today. I basically stayed home, rested, studied, and just just chilled. It was too hot today, so I didn't do any Walmart Spark. And because I said, you know what, I don't have to drive every day. I'm spending. I said I need to conserve my energy, and I'm spending a lot of money on gas, and then I'm making the money, but at the same time, technically, it kind of washes it out. So um, I will be working tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, and I'm trying to bring myself to get up, wake up, and start in the morning because by the time the evening come, afternoon, 2, 3 o'clock come, it's hot. Now, 4th of July, they said that was the hottest day of the summer so far, and it was hot. I'll tell you that. And I was like, oh goodness. And a lot of people, I'm gonna tell you now, if y'all ordered any drinks and waters, and y'all live in an apartment, and you gotta walk up some stairs, a lot of people ain't taking them. Some people, even I was told at Walmart, and I was told at particularly Sam's Club, a lot of people pick up items and they turn and coming right back. They go to the place they need to go and they bringing them back. And I was like, well, why are they bringing it back? And most of the time they lugging a bunch of cases of water, or even if it is, or they lugging a bunch of groceries. And when they get to the apartment or when they get to wherever they need to go, people must be acting a fool. And people ain't taking that. They like, nope. They get there and you live 3, 4 flights, no elevator. I don't understand how you can live in an apartment building, and I don't understand it. How can you live in an apartment and live 3 floors, 4 floors with no elevator? And pay all that money for rent. Now I know there's some apartments, there's some in Peachtree Corners if you're from Atlanta, or some very nice looking apartments. A lot of them have elevators. A lot of them have elevators that you can go to. But some people, um, you get there, you gotta have a code. They don't put no access code. People, you stand up, and let them buy stuff that's perishable. and then people don't answer the door, or people claim they didn't get no groceries. I said, that's a damn lie, because I know I had one last week. They gonna say they didn't get their groceries, but I had to call them 5 times at the gate to open to let me in. And then when I called them on the phone, the number you reach has been disconnected or restricted. I don't know what the hell. Then when you call them again, I said, then when they finally let you in, and then I go, they know some, and it's always us after damn food, always us playing that game. They don't want to. I ain't come. They don't want to go out. They don't want to come and get their own groceries. You didn't want to help me take your stuff out the car. Grown ass men, lazy ass people. I understand some people have children or whatever. That may be fine and dandy, but when you have grown ass kids in the house and you didn't tip, and then you want someone to go up 3 flights of stairs, and then this thing raggedy staircase, all raggedy. See, that's why I use the Google Map. I put the address in on each. If it's like 4 or 5 people, I put the address in each one of them, and I look around. There's a button that says "Look around." You can look and see if it's a house or wherever the case may be. You could tell, and then sometimes it will say apartment. But I've been doing so many deliveries with Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash, all of these different delivery services that I could look at an address and I could tell if it's a third floor, fourth floor. Mm-mm. But anywho, that had nothing to do with what I'm talking about. So, my goal was to do Merchandiser, the other app that I was doing, and I said, okay, if I do $35, just $35 every day, once a day, I would have. Let me see. Let me calculate that for y'all real quick. That would have been a good way of saving. Some people would like to say money hack, but say if I did $35 a day, 365 days, give or take, maybe not do it every day, but that would be $12,775. And if you did that to half a year, divided by 2, you could actually save about $6,387.50. And that's if you do $35 every day. Even if you knocked it down to 35 times 5 days a week, in $175 a week. Let me see. Let's go by the dates times 5 times 52 weeks, $9,100. So basically, you could really, it don't have to be Merchandiser. It could be any gig app that you may work on doing. So I just simply said Merchandiser because that's the one where you could just go take some pictures at a department store or grocery store. But I haven't been doing that. I hardly done it this year. I had assignments, but I was so busy doing other things, like especially when tax season. So I did manage to set aside some money, and it's not as much as I want it to be this year. But when I break it down, hey Romeo, go ahead and hit the thumbs up, Romeo, if you're into the room. Much appreciated. So basically, um, I have some savings. I did save, and I think because of the fact that I was able to put some money aside, that's why I was able to go on my trip to Arizona, because I said, I didn't spend a whole lot of money out there other than taking the Uber and Lyft to get there to my friend's ranch or whatever the case may be. But I didn't really spend a whole lot of money when I was out there because one, getting stuff at the airport. I did eat some, and some of that food was nasty. It was, I won't say it was nasty. It was just way too expensive, and I refused to buy a bunch of stuff at the airport. I did buy a couple of things here and there, but it was way too much money to be eating at that airport. And since I didn't bring any kind of snacks or something that I'm allowed to bring, I would have, not had to spend unnecessarily. But that was money set aside. So, and then what is the other thing about this year? I didn't really focus on my health as much as I need to be in terms of like working out, going to the gym, working out on my bike, the spinning bike you see behind me, which Charlie loves to sleep on. That Charlie the cat be on there more than me. So, um, most of the time I was very sedentary, I guess you could say, because when I was injured at Amazon, I didn't really get to do a whole lot of physical stuff. I mean, I was walking, but not to the point of saying, okay, I'm gonna walk 10,000 steps today, and I'm gonna do this. But um, I did manage to kind of not kept track of my health as much. I mean, I got this Apple Watch, so when I didn't wear it today. When I was working, I would try to walk as much as I can, but not to the extent like I'm used to. I'm used to walking 5 miles a day. Going walking out, going to the park, Stone Mountain Park, going out to the park in general. So um, with me working, especially the beginning of the year, so like parts of January, February, March, and April, I had worked a lot of hours. But in terms of like recreation and things like that, the only time y'all saw me really working out like I was when I went to Arizona. When I did that 3 mile walk, I was walking. When I was out there, I was doing some, mobility, getting up in the morning. I got plenty of rest. That was a good thing. I did manage to um, realize and reflect on a lot of things a few weeks ago. So that was one of the kickoffs at the first 6 months. That trip that I took really made me reflect on a lot of things that I wanted to do and things I needed to do, things that I recognized, um, especially when it came to my health, mental health, particularly. And one of the things I need to discuss when I go get my total physical is speaking about possibly getting diagnosed for AD. What is it? Attention deficit. What is that thing? ADHD, ACHD, whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Um, mhm. You didn't even pronounce it right either, Romeo. ADHA. No, that's not what that is. You didn't even pronounce. You didn't even write it correctly. But anyway, I'm gonna see if mention it because I've been looking at some YouTube videos, particularly one person video. She's this big New York columnist or something or whatever. This white woman, but she cursed a lot. I was like, I don't understand how anyhow, I don't know. Her name is um I don't know her name. She's all right, but I was like, huh? She got a big YouTube channel, but she started out basically with on like a um not a career coach, a lifetime coach. But I can't see her being a lifetime coach. But I mean, I guess she's known because she's written articles and was wrote books. But listening to her, this old white woman, um, when I first listened to her, she was talking about it last week on her channel. How she knew she was ADHD and she always had it, and she was talking about the signs, but you know, good luck to finding. There's a shortage of everything. There's a shortage of everything. So you ain't saying nothing that I haven't been complaining about, Romeo. I've been saying this, whatever. There's a shortage of everything. The only reason I got my appointment with my primary care physician was because you have to use words like y'all want people to die, and nobody cares for them to finally say, "Oh, we got an opening." All of a sudden you got an opening the minute I say that. So ain't nobody, you ain't saying nothing that I don't know already. Oh, this is water. So anyway, the next 6 months, as we approach the end of this year, um, I decided I want to go back to the gym. I'm not going back to LA Fitness. I'm gonna go to Crunch. They're supposed to open up a brand new Crunch in Tucker, and they the first 500 people you get to pay $10 a month as a founding member. So the minute I get that email alert, I'm gonna go and pay and sign up for the membership. But they told me they were not going to be open until late summer, early fall. So I already seen it's right next to that Hugh Howe in the shopping center. And I was a member of Crunch years ago. I sure wish they had a pool, but these other Crunch that I used to go to when I used to be in Buckhead, they had this huge basketball courts. I mean, it was beautiful. And they had a swimming pool, but these Crunches now, they don't have no pool. But I'm gonna go. I said for $9 a month. I said I could put that in my monthly budget, and um, they have the classes and stuff like that. I'm not getting that other package with any personal trainers or um, the membership where you could go to any Crunch anywhere in nationwide, as well as different ones statewide. Because I said no, I just want to get this one for $9, and then later on, when I finally move out of Georgia in the next 5 6 years, because I am planning on moving back to South Carolina. I'm just so tired of Atlanta at this point. I've lived there since February 14, 1996. So I want to move on. I said it's been what it's long enough, put it that way. And it's not the same. And that could be anybody could say that for any place you live, but particularly in Atlanta, I lived here for 27 years. I've lived here just as long as I've been born. I lived here in Atlanta more than I lived in any other place, New York and South Carolina combined, when I went to college. So, and then if I stay here another 3 years, that's 30 years. So I've lived in here more than half my life than I've lived in New York. Because I moved out of New York, I was 22. So at this point, um, and then I lived in South Carolina where I went to college for like 5 years. Was it 5 years I lived in Columbia? Yeah, about 5 years. So I've lived in the South almost half my lifetime. So, and since everyone that I know, if they still lived in New York, they're not living in Harlem. They don't live in the Bronx. I mean, my aunt and stuff, they lived in the Bronx, but a lot of my relatives they moving out of New York. My mother already moved out. Like I told y'all, she said, "I wish I kept." First she said she wanted to keep she would have kept that house, but at the same time, she wouldn't have wanted to deal with being a landlord and all that stuff. So my mother been paid off that mortgage in the Bronx years ago. So she was managed to buy another house in Goose Creek. Beautiful place. I know. So I took some videos when I was there during the holidays. I didn't, but I plan on moving. So when I go to South Carolina, I will be going to South Carolina in a couple of weeks. I need to get my extension of my when I'm going to be saying I could go back to work. I'm trying to get them to. I say I want my extension to go back end of August. I'll be finished with my sessions, and depending on what we discuss next week when I go to the doctor to discuss my MRI, I have an appointment so they could go over it, and then they're gonna have to comment. They have to write me an accommodation and what I can do, what I can't do. But I'm not gonna continue to strain myself physically and mentally working those long hours. But if I'm gonna still keep my schedule, 12 hours, 3 days a week, because I don't want to change it. During the day, I don't want to work during the daytime. I don't want to work 5 days a week. I'll keep my current schedule, but I'll see what happens. I'll let y'all know in a couple of weeks what's going to happen with that. And then as for TurboTax, I don't know. They haven't communicated back with me um, working anytime during the summertime, because I think it's different. When I was a tax consultant, you know, they probably would have needed me more so when they needed to help customers. But when I became a lead, they don't really, they weren't as busy. I don't know. I don't know. So basically, he's either coming back um, late fall, like if they call me back, I don't know, because the manager I had now, she's saying too many different things. I don't know, she don't know anything, but at the same time, I think she does, but she's not being truthful, you know. But they said I was eligible to come back. Now, when you come back, it depends. It could be either like um, two different time frames. I do believe it was like either like September or November. But it been so this past tax season was so slow that I don't think they was really anticipating um, the flow of people. So I don't know. So um, it may be sometime in November before if anyone comes back. They'll let people come back November, and then you do whatever training. But they supposed to be doing a lot of changes. I heard. So I don't know. But hopefully by then I will be working on my resume. I'm still learning data analytics, Salesforce. So I've been trying to look for a different position because it's good to work seasonal, but a lot of times, you have to kind of either one, know how to save your money or do some other side hustles in the meantime. And then, you work maybe 4 months out the year. Like I said, I don't work, you only could work 4 months out the year. If they extend your time, you may work maybe five, 5 months, but that's about it. So my goal for the next 6 months is to still work on my skills, still try to update my skills, and especially in technology. Um, because it's a whole different job market. That's for sure. I could tell you that. If you're not if you don't update your skills, a lot of people are gonna be losing their jobs to artificial intelligence. Um, Companies are cutting back because it's just not fair, And then the next half of the year, that's when student loans need to be repaid back. And so I've been looking at that, and mine is based on an income-based plan because my income was so low for so long. My income base was zero, and but the thing about that, when I looked at the time frame, I have 2 more years before they could totally forgive the whole entire loan because I've been paying on those dang loans for so long that when I looked at the last update yesterday, it was 2 years. And then if I go back to the federal government, I could work in the public service sector. That was about 2 years of service, and then they'll forgive it. So I'm going to be looking for something in the nonprofit sector, federal sector, federal. I don't want to work for the state. But if I work for the state, if I was to work for the state, I would apply for a state position in South Carolina, especially since I know that's where I would like to plan on moving to. And my mother is basically, she works for the state because she works at the jail. Ooh, as a clergy, she loves her job. So she's been working for the state. That's technically a state job, and it's been what 6 years. She moved 5 6 years, so she's gonna have a third pension because she got a pension from New Jersey, she got a pension from New York, then she's gonna get a pension in South Carolina, and she's already past 70. So I know years ago when I was young, my mother said, "You got to get a state job," and And I'm like, "I want to work for the state." I wanted to work on Wall Street. I wanted to work with these big companies and big corporations, and I did. In my 20s or so, I worked on Wall Street. I worked Shears and Lehman and all these big companies on Wall Street. In the 80s when people were so, how the 80s were during the Wall Street, New York. It was me. That was me back in the day with the business suit. Wear the sneakers when you go on the subway train. Then you take them off, wear high heel shoes, and you know. And I remember when they used to have those, they used to post those state jobs. It used to be the newspaper, and you would see all these jobs for the state. Man, what I knew then, I know, and there was a pay. You used to get a pension when you worked at the state job, especially in New York, New Jersey. You know, but you know how it goes. So as we approach the last 6 months of the year, I'm focusing more on my budget. When I went to the farmers market Sunday, I paid $133, and I said my grocery budget for the month will be um, at least under 200. If not, that's it. I'm not spending a whole lot of money on unnecessary things. I'm not going to, so I'm going to be saving my money more and more. And I'm going to do these little gig apps here and there. I still get paid at Amazon when I'm on leave, but I only get 60% of my pay. And I was like, where's my money? But it'll be by the time I go back to work and then I have all those monies deposited to my account, it'll be time for me to go back. But I don't know what they're going to have me doing when I come back. So it all depends. It all depends. So that's my year in review, I guess. I did, as I approached the last 6 months, people Well, ain't no weird look. Who cares what people looking at? They probably looking at because they spaced out. I don't be worried about how people look. I do not worry about what people look like. You still living in California? Cause I'm surprised you still stay there. I don't know who you be coming across with, Romeo, but you be coming across people who be, I don't know. I've told you for years, stop worrying about what other people be looking at and thinking. Yep, so that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be trying to pay off some of these debts and try to pay them off within 2 years, if not less. Um, and I'm just gonna focus more on my health because if you don't have your health, everything else don't mean anything. So, anyways, thank y'all for the 6 thumbs ups. I'll be doing some Walmart Spark tomorrow. This rest of the remaining week, Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. But I'm gonna try to get up in the morning. I'm gonna do it this time because I think I'm well rested enough. It is getting too hot to be out there, and the more hotter it gets, I don't know what people gonna be doing. Hold on, y'all. I'll be back. Charlie, where you at? Charlie, Charlie, Charlie. I'm looking at the. I'm calling Charlie from out the window because sometimes he like to be He usually come up here around this time. Where he at? Usually he run upstairs. He'll probably be coming up in the next few minutes. But yeah, I've been especially today. I've been watching a lot of different videos about how to cut down on expenses and how to save more money and I try not to follow no narrative of people talking about doom and gloom, especially some of these big YouTube channels. They make it sound you know, like it's such a doom and gloom, but yet they have almost 250,000 subscribers and more, and and have sponsorships with different companies, but yet I say, well, damn, is there ever be a time when you're gonna say things looking good, even though I'm not saying it's bad, but it ain't like disaster either. The inflation rate's going down a little bit, but at the same time, like I said, you have to focus on your own personal finance and budget, not the government, not all these things. Like I said, it would have been nice if they had that student loan forgiveness, but it wasn't like it would have it would not have wiped me out to zero, put it that way. So it wasn't like it was gonna get me debt free, that's for sure. But you know, sometimes I wish I'd done a lot of things differently. Because I would have been finished paying off. Well, I wouldn't have gone to Capella. I got my MBA degree. That would have been that's a waste. But you know, going to college is not so much important these days, especially for a lot of younger people. But at the same time, people talk about, I ain't wasting all my money, I ain't going to college, and I. But at the same time, they're not doing nothing for themselves to better themselves either. I spoke to one person. She don't work at Amazon anymore. She was like, I said, did I say go to college or did I say learn a skill? I didn't say nothing about going to college, and I did not say nothing about taking out no student loans. I said learn a skill. So some people are gonna be worse off. They're gonna be worse off because okay, you don't have to go to school, you don't have to go to college because even if you went to college for computer science, that doesn't guarantee you any job or career. But for those who are like, I ain't trying to get no student loans and I ain't trying to, but then at the same time, you work for Amazon and you get the opportunity to learn some skill. I mean, I ain't say it's the greatest of anything, but it will at least give you some kind of um, avenues to learn something. That's why I'm there. Like I tell people, I'm only here for two things: going to school and insurance. And even then, the insurance, it sucks because you can't even hardly find a doctor. But if need be, I have insurance, dental, vision. I need to make some doctor's appointment tomorrow to go to get my eye exam, along with the I don't know if I want to do a colonoscopy. I know they're gonna say, it's time to do your colonoscopy, but I'm gonna have to discuss that with the doctor because I don't want to do colonoscopy. I mean, I've been put to sleep twice. Well, have I been put? Yeah, I've been put to sleep twice, but I'm gonna have to ask a little bit more about that colonoscopy because one thing I heard was if you're diabetic, you have to, your blood sugar is too high, you can't get a colonoscopy. I don't know. I have to get that clarified when I speak to the doctor next week. Something don't seem, something ain't right. It's like you hear it, but you don't hear it. So anyway, I ain't gonna talk long. So thank y'all for the 6 thumbs up. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I guess I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Maybe I'll try to make some videos while I'm out and about when I'm doing my Walmart Spark deliveries, and I may try to do pick up one of these other apps that I do, Observer or Merchandise. I'm not sure. I have to see what kind of things they got going on. Anywho, y'all have a good night and thank y'all. And I will talk to y'all tomorrow. See you soon.